taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut season off top, you stop breathing.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for this evening, Pat Scorpion, New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do is Shutterworth the guy, aka LB Lauderdale Boss. You know what it do. RingGangRadio.com in the building. Yes.
Yes, sir. Ring Gang in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, yo, what's good, y'all? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxing in the building. Ring Gang Radio all day. Let's go.
Hey, King P, Bodega P. Not in the sewer anymore, but however, though, you know, he still controls whoever, you know, who gets to enter the bodega. So do we have anyone who's going to be banned from the bodega this weekend?
Not particularly, although I am going to, I'm going to advise 40-year-old out of shape heavyweights to, tread lightly in the bodega because I'm about to be on some ageism shit. Like, y'all are fat and out of shape. Like, get in shape.
Find a vegan place, man. Get some vegetables in your life. You know
No. I mean, no. If we heavyweight boxers, we throwing hands, we shedding blood and sweat and tears. Stay away from the motherfucking vegan. You see what that shit ain't help Canelo out. and another thing, let's keep ageism and racism far away from boxing.
okay, McCarran.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
These fighters, they just be saying anything when they get these platforms. They be saying anything that comes to their minds, man. No one to check them shit.
It's boxing Twitter for real.
I should ban McCarran from the bodega just for saying that shit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But I don't know. You see, hanging around with too many black folks to come off like that. Like that's kind of weird.
That's the problem. Like
maybe her black boyfriend's too weak to correct the way he should be. You know what I'm saying? Like such foolishness shouldn't be coming out of no mouth like that. Coming out of a mouth like that. Like that's unacceptable. No.
I mean, because if you're old, you're old. But
yeah.
I mean, black don't crack.
Yeah.
Light don't slight. It is what it is.
It is, yo. That's a sad thing, though.
Yeah, might have to have a poster, up at the door by the damn bodega.
Yeah, Yeah, we'll see if Michaela, McCarran, excuse me, we'll we'll learn. Let's see if she'll say some more things into this build up over the next couple of months. And last but certainly not least, the man with a little turbulence in the background. I got my other man. I need him to introduce himself.
Hey, what's fly? It's Conscious Pod, aka the West Coast Avenger, #1 contender, preparing for liftoff destination, Ringing Radio. Let's fucking fly, man.
Yes, sir. Say that with authority. You know what I'm saying? It stays elevating above the clouds. You dig? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. It was an interesting little weekend of boxing. We had PBC, which we'll get into in a little bit, but first, gotta get some bars for Eddie's Matchroom adventures on Saturday afternoon. We were all looking forward to two fights basically on there. One, which was Madrimov Sorrow 2, which only went about 3 rounds, give or take, before a headbutt. A nasty headbutt kind of brought things to an end because Sorrow suffered a cut over his left eye. But what happened for the headbutt? It looked like Sorrow didn't learn the goddamn thing. Like, we were talking all the shit what Sorrow can do, but Sorrow in there didn't do a goddamn thing. Madrimov was in there, less of the fidgety, the side-to-side movement, and actually threw a hard, authoritative jab at him. And Sorrow was just like, his hands were handcuffs. Like, Dude was just afraid to throw at him. So, after a round of that, I'm just like, yeah, this is probably not going to end up good for Sorrow. And Madrimov was just casually beating his ass. Like, it was just like, it was no contest.
The cut was bad, but it seemed like he was kind of selling it a little bit because he was about to get stopped.
Yeah, he was.
Legitimately, I don't know. Like last time it was controversial, I guess, but he was gonna get stopped. quick.
Yeah, so it was disappointing, like just how brief it was. But then Madrimov was denied a knockout. But yeah, I think Chisora now, I think was he 34, 35, maybe. Like I think Chisora. I mean, I thought it was just ring rust, but I think Chisora's kind of he's either who he is or he's just getting old. One of the other or both. But yeah. I honestly don't want to see him fight again until he starts bodying some people at 154. If he's capable of doing that anymore. And Madrimov obviously is not gonna fuck around with this dude anymore. It's like, ain't gonna be no third fight because Madrimov is one of Jamel's mandatories. Of course he'll have to get into line about that one. Depending on which Mando is first for him.
But he gonna be out for a while though anyway, so it don't matter.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean Eddie's gonna have to keep him busy for now and hope that he doesn't suffer a loss. But I mean, like I said, I'm still high on Madrimov though. But and honestly, this fight is probably the first time I actually saw something that if you want to call him a triple G light or whatever. He actually for once actually looked like he was actually fighting like him or tried to.
He's not triple G,
but he's not triple G.
I still don't see it. Like he could be something else, Just because he throws 6 jabs in a row doesn't mean he's triple G. I mean, damn.
No, him and Janet Beck and Beck the Bully, they're all triple G clones. That's all.
No, they're not.
Nothing like triple G. Like
Nigga called him Middle
like
Beck.
the furthest thing you can get from G.
Middle back.
Nigga said Middle Beck.
Oh shit.
And mid the bully.
Yeah, one of them actually bullied Gabe Rosado, and it wasn't Beck. So
yeah, that's also true. That's very true.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's just like, hey, I mean, listen, you say people that say the Triple G is not a draw. Well, yeah, if there's not, then niggas wouldn't be calling every other fighter the next Triple G, every other from Kazakhstan or anything like that. Yeah,
like I don't know, like who they don't do that to no other fighter, like.
Yeah.
Like no one, if you come from the Ukraine, no one's gonna be like, oh, he's the next Lomachenko, hey.
Or the next Usyk, or the next Klitschko.
Yeah, no one does that. Even with the Philippines. The Philippines may be the only other place where they'd be like, okay, like Manny Pacquiao, or they'll tap Pacquiao into it. But even then, they don't, ram it down your throat or nothing. Like they just. Is there, but
you don't say people say Maxeo is the new Manny Pacquiao because they get laughed out.
Yeah, they don't. They didn't even do that with Daenerys, none of that shit. But with all these Kazakhstan motherfuckers, he's now Triple G light. He's Triple G deluxe. We got a heavyweight. He's super heavy duty Triple G. Like, like stop. Like all these motherfuckers cannot be Triple G. Like. Yeah, they low key is reminding me of this cartoon. Used to come on back to back with the Avengers the other couple years ago. Fucking Hulk and the Agents of Smash, like like Triple G and the Agents of Jab, and it's like all different versions of Triple G. Like you got a big red one, you got the female version,
multi-universe Triple G,
the multi. And it's like just like you got the Hulk and he's like the leader, and you got like the other different Hulks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how this shit is looking. But nah, like stop.
Yeah. But at least with Madrimov, I'm hopefully that Eddie will have him back in the ring. Probably by early fall or whatever. I mean, because like I said, they only went 3 rounds and he didn't get cut by the headbutt. So yeah, you can get him back in the ring in 2 months. Quick turnaround or some shit like that. But the main event was something that really, I mean, what didn't really warrant a rematch, and unfortunately, it was probably more entertaining than the first fight, of course, with Kubrat Pulev and Dereck Chisora. All I gotta say about this fight is this is the reason. Like Eddie has to be very careful about these type of fights that he'd be holding for any of these guys. Like pretty much for was it 10 or 12 rounds? It was 12 rounds, right?
12 rounds.
Yeah,
12 rounds
of gassing, and guys can get in Pulev throwing combinations and missing. Like there was multiple times where dude was throwing like 5-6 punch combinations, and
He was throwing ghost punches, yo.
Yeah, like, and Chisora was ducking underneath her, like, yeah, you're not touching me with any of that bullshit. Like, you know, what the fuck is going on? You know, until of course Chisora got tired, and then after that it was like, you know, trying to one punch each other. Chisora trying to land overhand rights, Pulev trying to sneak in uppercuts, and Pulev got face showed the whole thing. Like, he got busted up, like cuts over both eyes.
He lost that fight. He got his ass kicked. I don't know why am I seeing on boxing Twitter like Pulev should have won that. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
He didn't. No, the fuck he should.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, stop. Like,
huh? You thought Pulev won?
No, there's people.
No, there are people that thought Pulev should have won.
Like, legit people thought, like, and some people's like, oh, well, it could have been a draw. It was close. I'm like, dude, that fight was like an easy 116, 112, 115, 113 at the most. Like,
they both
there's no way that fight's a draw. Like, because even though they both gas, for some reason, Chisora, he knows how to fight gas. It's kind of like how Thurman knows how to fight after layoffs.
Yeah.
Chisora, and he does it. Some nights he does it better than other nights. This night he did it better than other nights because he knew how to like conserve his energy, but then he would rush and he would throw and land meaningful shots. He'll throw like 4 or 5 good body shots.
Right.
And then he'll do another flurry where he comes in over the top with a nice one. And it's up to Pulev, like, you're the more skilled guy. You won the last fight, like, but if Chisora's rolling your right hand and he's not letting you hit the jab, and then he's hitting you with he was killing this dude's body.
Yeah, the body work was beautiful. That body work was beautiful, man.
Yeah, I give him that, and he killed the occasional overhead right in the hooks. Like Pulev, you know, he had some nice work every now and then, but it wasn't enough to win the rounds because a couple of those 1-2s were like ghost punches, like they didn't have nothing on him or that he was missing.
Yeah, he was missing a lot. Like, you know, dude was
Yeah.
throwing, like dude was just. I was like, yo, why is he missing so much? Like, it was like, I would say Kubrat Pulev is a poor offensive fighter. Like, literally, I honestly don't even know how he gets stoppages. To be honest with you. You know, I mean, seriously, like, I mean, other than Frank Mir, like, when's the last time you actually see? I mean, and the funny thing is, he actually has decent opponents on his record, but it's just like, yo,
he's decently skilled too. It's just he always just fights like in a way like he's missing something, like he can't put it all together.
Right.
And Chisora was there for him, but Chisora knows what he's doing. Like, I know he called out Wilder and he wants the Wilder fight. That fight would have been good like 5, 6 years, 7 years ago. Right.
But yeah, no, and like I said, I mean, what I saw from Chisora, Chisora is clearly a passer. Like, what was killing me was the other thing was in the later rounds where dude had Pulev and he hit him with a nice combination, but then he went to the fucking ropes because he gassed from throwing that combination.
Yeah, he could have knocked out Pulev, like, or maybe on 2 different occasions he had him hurt. Where if he would have followed up with like another good combination, he would have dropped him or had him. Because you see Pulev even like stutters, like he even paused like on some like, okay, like I'm like, you know, like you're gonna finish this off, like
no, exactly. And it was just,
like he waited.
Yeah, and that's why it's just like, you know, this fight, like, no, and the funny thing is, it's bad that this is probably Chisora's best victory as a pro. Yeah, because Pulev, you know, like I said, it's not really all that as a heavyweight, you know, on there. But it's just like, it just tells me the one thing, like, both of you guys shouldn't continue. Like, Pulev shouldn't continue because he lost to a faded Chisora the way he did. He lost it clear. And Chisora shouldn't win because Chisora still got battered by Pulev, who's not a good offensive fighter, you know, at all. It's just like, I just don't see the point of, and then in Chisora's interview, they talk about, is like, yeah, he's on his way out, but he wants the hard fights. It's just like, I'm shaking my head at this, and then he's talking about this, and talking the Wilder shit. Now, most people know my thoughts on Deontay Wilder. You know, it's like, you know, I'm not a big.
That would have been a good developmental fight for Wilder years ago,
right?
But now it's like some backward shit.
Yeah, because like I said, now obviously we don't know what Wilder's what Wilder is actually like, as he is now. Because I mean, after the Fury fights, but I can 100% guarantee that one Wilder right hand will easily wipe out Chisora. Like one right hand will take him out of there. Like Chisora's not absorbing, can't absorb a Wilder right anymore. Like he can't. So
and the thing is, he doesn't have that extra that extra athleticism, like to where he could pressure Wilder and smother the right hand. Because I do think a younger Chisora would give Wilder a tough fight. I do think that.
If a younger Chisora gave Fury a tough fight in the first fight, he put pressure on Haye in the first fight before Haye kind of blasted him out of there early.
He got jobbed against Dillian White in their first fight.
Right, yeah. And he got Malik Scott out of there. most people forget that.
Honestly, besides Chris Bird and Klitschko, Chisora, you could say, has won the most rounds against Vitaly. I'm sorry, besides Chris Bird and Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
As far as being competitive against Vitaly Klitschko, Chisora is about the only other person you could throw in there besides those two.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even bothered by Vitaly's power. Like, I mean,
Vitaly won that like 115, 113. Like, that's the type of fight it was.
Although the scores had it real wide as shit, though.
Yeah, he punked both them niggas that whole week. Like,
yeah,
he slapped one of them. He spit the water in the other. Like, good lord. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, he would have got jumped over here.
Yeah, I mean, Haye's probably the only one that actually beat down a prime Chisora.
Hey, they like best friends now. Go figure.
But yeah,
I'll never forget that shit with David Haye, man. That shit was crazy. Like, he was fighting off a werewolf.
Yeah, that was a good fucking fight too, man. That was a really dope fight. But
the build up and everything, just that delivered, man. But yeah, shout outs to anybody. Y'all got to see that fight if you ain't see that shit. Watch the build up, all of that.
But then also too, you people need to calm down with saying Wilder and Chisora. Like we don't need to see that. Like we don't need to, because it's gonna be uglier than a masterpiece. Nico. Like, we don't need to see that fight. People should stop talking about that fight for real. Like we don't need to see that.
Like we're good. Like honestly, like I would like to see Chisora retire and he has a good solid win, because you took the damn first Parker fight from him. He should have won that. Like. So give him this one. Well, you ain't give him that. He had to take it. So you know what? I hope he made enough money, but like, it's only gonna get worse from here, man. Like, just call it quits, bro. Like, you a fan favorite to the end, man. Like, dude has that place like jumping, man. The war, like, he made a good atmosphere.
Yeah, like don't take. I mean, because he showed a picture of his family on TV. Like, don't, like, like if you don't need the money, like don't wait around to be somebody's punching bag or somebody's or Eddie finds some heavyweight to be a come up point. Like, don't do that no more. Like,
yeah.
He's coming.
If honestly, if he's
gonna fight again though,
he should get into acting. Like Chisora would be good as like a boss henchman or something. Like. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why some of these boxers don't kind of lean into that. Give Victor Ortiz a call, like something. Like some of these guys, Chisora would be a good as, like, put him in some villain roles. Like, he ain't gotta be no boss, just a right hand man or something. Like, like, come on, man. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, true. And then Pulev, I don't know. I mean, Pulev, but in front things too, Pulev has only lost to Vlad and Anthony Joshua. But yeah, losing from that to losing to Chisora, like that should tell us. Yeah, there's a big gap in talent and ability. Like, yeah, that should tell Pulev to them, like, like your days as a contender are over. Like, don't continue. Like, someone will. I mean, take them Triller fights. Take another fight with Frank Mir. This time wear gloves. So instead of using players.
So the sad part is, if Chisora would have fought dude maybe 2 years ago, he probably stopped some.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. Like, geez, like, oh man, I don't even want to see a Chisora Chris Arreola fight.
Yeah, I don't. And funny things too is because it was supposed to be. Because remember, this fight was supposed to be Chisora and Kaunaki, but Kaunaki decided to take the PBC deal, which that may actually work against him too. I mean, because he fights on the Danny Garcia card, which we'll probably talk about in a couple of weeks.
Who he fighting?
It's a Turkish heavyweight prospect. I forgot it. I don't have the name.
Yeah, the guy
they feeding him.
Yeah, he was on the Ortiz Martin pay-per-view. He was the one that beat up Washington on there. Oh, he didn't really beat him up. He kind of like slowly.
Oh no, yeah, the Demerizin. Yeah,
Demerizin. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's on there. I mean, Kanaka could have had an easy lick. But, it is what it is. but yeah, that matchroom card is just like it was just like people like that fight, but I was just like. I already knew after I didn't want to see these two fight again.
I mean, it was entertaining, but it's one of those entertaining like you don't want this
wreck.
every weekend, like
right.
Like it was entertaining. I'll give it that, and I'm glad I watched it, and I don't feel bad about the fight or nothing. It just you don't want it to have no lasting effects on them, and you want to see Chisora, bow out gracefully. Like this is it.
Yeah, that was it.
You up there with your family, your kids, like, the crowd loves you. You leaving a hero, man. Like,
right.
Go off on that. Like, don't come back and, some nigga who's 11 and old stretch you out.